Good day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jeremy. This is the Financial Education Channel, and today we're talking about 4 different stocks. We're talking about AMD, we're talking about Snapchat, we're talking about Nvidia, and lastly, we're talking about Etsy. All 4 of these stocks were up absolutely massively the last few days, guys, and we got to look into why they are all up massively. AMD, we talk about a little bit on this channel. I know a lot of you guys that watch this channel are actual AMD shareholders. Snapchat, we talk about a lot on this channel because it's one of the most hyped IPOs in recent history. And then we also talk about Nvidia a decent amount, including last week. And then last one is Etsy, and I talk about that one, not necessarily, I don't really talk about it as a stock. I talk about it as an entrepreneurship type thing you guys can do if you're creatives and you can make things and sell it on there. So we talk about Etsy, but more along that side, but its stock was up massive. So let's look at some of these stock moves. So just the past few days, AMD stock is up over 17%. Huge move. Less than 4 days and up over 17%. Snapchat the last few days is up over 15%. So that one's had a very nice bounce back. We know it got killed after earnings and it's coming back very strong. Nvidia is an absolute animal. This one just in the past few days is up over 13%. And the last one here is Etsy. And this one just today is up over 22% today. 22%. So let's go ahead and look at why all these different stocks are up so massively, guys. So the first one is AMD. AMD had a nice move because of the Nvidia earnings last week, and a lot of times Nvidia and AMD, they kind of move together. If they're both going up a lot, if one goes up a lot, it kind of pushes the other one up. If one goes down a lot, it kind of pushes the other one down. They kind of move step in step. But AMD just today, Intel has reportedly finally sealed a deal with AMD to license Radeon graphics technology from the Sunnyvale chip maker. Intel's previous licensing agreement with Nvidia ended in March, and to prevent any litigatory, did I pronounce that right? Litigatory gaps from occurring, the chip giant has reportedly already begun paying licensing revenue to AMD. An announcement of the deal is expected to take place at both companies' Q2 earnings release. So this is very interesting. And then I saw something even more interesting about this whole deal here. Intel hires AMD as its new bodyguard. The purpose of the new graphics licensing agreement, just like the original, is to protect Intel from patent trolling. The deal that the company signed with Nvidia in 2011 was actually to settle a lawsuit by the latter, which is Nvidia, over claims of patent infringement. Both AMD and Nvidia hold massive portfolio of patents developed over the decades that have defined modern graphics architectures. Due to the complexity of modern graphic chips, for Intel or any other company to build its own, it would have to navigate through a legal minefield. The only way to come out on the other end is in one place is to make a deal with either of the 2 biggest graphics players. So it's very interesting why they've kind of made this deal here is basically to avoid a lot of lawsuits. I mean, we see these tech companies all the time suing each other over patents and whatnot, and what could end up happening sometimes is they end up both costing themselves a lot more money than if they just set up a deal like this together. I mean, we see Apple suing Samsung right all the time. We see Apple and Samsung suing Qualcomm right now. Like, these tech companies are all suing each other like crazy all the time, guys. And who makes a ton of money off this? Those big law firms. The law firms take if you've ever had a deal with a law firm, whether it's, in regards to a will or something like that, just like a little legal matter, right? It's ridiculous how much, the law firms can take and these lawyers can make. Imagine on this scale of multi-billion-dollar companies suing each other over these kinds of things, guys. These lawyer fees add up to millions and tens of millions of dollars, and it ends up eating into more of the profits and whatnot. It takes away from both companies' time and having to think about all this lawsuit here. So sometimes it makes sense just to do a deal with the other one, pay them a licensing fee, and then avoid all that let's sue each other type crap, guys. So that's kind of why AMD's rose. The Nvidia earnings, just a lot of excitement after Nvidia kind of got killed after earnings, and because of this new deal that's supposed to come out here with Intel. So very exciting stuff if you're an AMD shareholder. Then we look at Snapchat. So why has Snapchat risen so much after it got killed? Well, here's the thing here, guys. In recent days, major investing firms have revealed their first quarter holdings in various companies as regulated by the SEC. Quite a few revealed that they had taken part in interest in the biggest tech IPO since Alibaba, which is Snapchat. That list includes Dan Loeb's Third Point, George Soros Fund Management, Ken Griffin's Citadel Advisors, Jana Partners, Millennium Management, David Tepper's group there. So many different ones, guys. Third Point revealed a stake worth $50 million in Snapchat with 2.3 million shares. Jana revealed a stake of 550,000 shares. D. Shaw revealed a stake worth 41 million shares, and the list goes on and on. So what we see here, guys, is there's a big backing behind a lot of hedge funds backing Snapchat. And what did remember I did a GoPro video last week and I said, you know, when will GoPro stock goes up? What do we need for GoPro to go up? We need big hedge funds to really get behind it, the big investors, right? The great thing for Snapchat is they got a lot of these big hedge funds behind their back. So if a stock dips like it does, as long as the hedge fund or mutual fund or whoever's backing it still has a lot of faith in it, and if it's a lot of them, then what they'd go and do is they just buy like crazy on that dip. And they either lower their cost basis if it's higher than that, or, you know, they just buy in general because they're excited about it. That's, you know, a lot of their philosophy. So Snapchat has that, and that's a phenomenal thing for Snapchat, and it's one of the reasons. Obviously, there's a lot more buyers than sellers the last few days. You know, Snapchat dipped there, and then all of a sudden the buyers have suddenly come in. I can almost guarantee you a lot of these hedge funds are probably adding shares right now, and that is probably why the stock has risen so much. Because like I said, a lot of times it's not the retail, it's not you and me buying $1,000, $10,000, $100,000 worth of stock. We're not moving these stocks. They're too big. It's the people buying millions of dollars worth in a day, tens of millions of dollars worth in a day or over a week, guys. Those are the people that are moving these stocks up or down, depending on if they're buying or selling, guys. So that's a phenomenal thing Snapchat has there, guys. And next one up, we want to talk about Nvidia. So Nvidia has just been surging ever after its earnings, and also the price target just got hiked by Goldman Sachs over data center AI prospects. So that's according to Goldman Sachs. Toshiya Hari, who on Monday raised his price target on shares of the graphic chip maker to $165. Right now, they're a little over $130. A share from $130 and reiterated his buy rating. The way the analyst sees it, Wall Street and investors continue to underappreciate the long-term growth prospects for the chip maker and its data center. What's more, he said he was positively surprised by the launch of Nvidia's next graphic chip, Volta, and the improvement of performance it brings, as well as its positioning in the artificial intelligence and machine learning markets. Despite the recent, and this is a quote from him, despite the recent stock price move, we remain bullish on Nvidia, wrote Hari in note to analysts. Nvidia is exposed to and well positioned in multiple secular growth markets, including PC gaming, VR, data center, AI, ML in particular, and self-driving cars. We see meaningful upside to street estimates with our fiscal 18 and 19 EPS estimates 19% and 55% above consensus on the street. So basically, Nvidia's got huge growth markets going right now. They're in a beautiful position. They look like they're in the forefront of artificial intelligence type stuff, right? And they're in the forefront of self-driving cars. They're in gaming, and a lot of these mega trends we see happening in the space out here that are going to be mega trends for the next 5, 10, 15 years. And it looks like Nvidia is out in front of a lot of companies in these spaces. So it's a great stock for a lot of the long-term investors looking at the stock. And they're already posting such great numbers. I mean, we looked at those numbers last week. They did 79 cents earnings per share when 66 cents were expected, guys. That's a huge beat there. So Nvidia, very exciting stuff, and that's why that stock's moving. Last one is Etsy here. Why did Etsy move up 22% today? Etsy shares surge after activists urge exploring strategic alternatives. TPG Group reported a 4.3% stake in Etsy, while Dragoneer Investments Group said it now has a 3.7% ownership. Both hedge funds are saying they've asked Etsy to engage in discussions regarding strategic alternatives. What does that mean? That basically means the hedge funds want Etsy to sell to another company. They want to sell at a premium price, hopefully to even the 22% gain today. They want to make a quick buck on this one. They want it to be sold probably within the next year, maybe even the next 6 months. That's what the hedge funds are pushing for. That's why they built stakes in this company, because they want the company to sell itself, basically. They don't, believe that the opportunity is bigger long term. They believe the opportunity in the stock is short term. Sell to another company, sell to an Amazon. Would an Amazon buy it? Possibly. I wouldn't say for sure, but it's a possibility that an Amazon might buy something like this to get more into the space that is a little more of the eBay type space, right? Because eBay is a great platform if you're just trying to sell one thing or very little things on eBay, right? I mean, I sell electronics on eBay all the time. When I upgrade technology, I go ahead and I sell on eBay. And maybe Amazon could go ahead and integrate Etsy so it's a much more of a competitor to an eBay, for instance, because we see eBay is silently kind of moving more into the Amazon space with a lot of products. I buy a lot of electronics that are actually cheaper on eBay than anywhere else, way cheaper than Walmart and even cheaper than Amazon. This camera you're watching on right now is a Canon 80D. I looked everywhere for a brand new Canon 80D. The only place I found it cheapest was eBay. eBay beat Amazon's price by like $20 to $30. They beat Best Buy's price by like over $100. It was absolutely amazing how much eBay beat them. So maybe Amazon could buy an Etsy and say, what, we're going to make a threat against you now, because Amazon really is a good platform for bigger type companies selling, but it's not such a good platform if you're just a single person trying to sell a single item or maybe just a few items. So Amazon's a possibility. Walmart's a possibility, because Walmart's trying to buy their way to e-commerce success. We saw them buy Jet.com, I think, for $3.3 billion last year, I think it was last year they bought them. So we see Walmart could be a possibility of a buying of this company. eBay, maybe even a possibility, kind of get rid of one of their slight competitors and just kind of expand the platform. So eBay is a possibility that they could buy a company like this. Other than that, I don't see a lot of possibilities. I really see Amazon probably being the most realistic, Walmart, and then eBay after that, guys. So we'll see what happens there with Etsy, but they're trying to sell the company, and that's why that stock is up massively. I hope you guys enjoyed this today. 4 stocks that have just had massive moves the past week. Let me know in that comment section if you own any of these 4 stocks, you're thinking about owning any of these 4 stocks, if you have any opinion on them. I would love to hear from you guys on that. If you just came across this channel, you may want to subscribe. We talk personal finance in the channel. I'm an actual business owner. I give away so many business tips. We talk entrepreneurship, and we talk the stock market, the last of everything. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day.